joined by Dr. Tal Pavel, Director and Founder of the Institute for Cyber Policy Studies, joining us in the studio. Thank you very much. And joining us virtually here, we have Dr. Kamila Forkosh Lavan, a Ph.D. licensed practicing psychologist. I've had you on the program before. Thank you for joining right now. And first in the studio, Tal, I want to look at this online arena. This true new growing dimension in our lives, more and more inseparable from everything we do. Is this just a natural target then for the world's worst predators, essentially? Is it inevitable that this space is being filled by the worst actors as well?
Well, as we saw in the report, yes, and unfortunately it's not new because the internet didn't invent something, it's just boost and empower existing phenomenon. And you know, when I saw this report, I just remember the episode in Black Mirror, which is the same thing, it's the same story of the same episode of Black Mirror, and which reminds us that Black Mirror is not and was not a science fiction. You know, it's dealt with our present and the effect of technology on our daily life. The problem with the digital life is what we call the attribution problem, which means we are anonymous behind the keyboard, and the same as this sketch from the late 90s with the two dogs that one say to another, on the internet nobody knows that you are a dog. And yeah, we do not know who stands behind the keyboard and all its effects, as we saw in this report, the devastating ability to lure younger victims.
Society's most vulnerable, yes, children.
Yes, indeed, and to attack and to target the most vulnerable part of our society and community for those just criminal activities and criminal benefits. I think the best thing is, as we saw here, to raise the awareness. Okay. Even if someone fail into this kind of situation, exactly as said, to raise the awareness, to report on such events.
Now, certainly, and Kamila, coming to you here, the mother in this report, heartbreaking it says she was unaware of this phenomena prior to this, claiming her son as a victim here. Looking at kids, the most vulnerable, again, in society, is there enough being done? We put a lot of resources into our everyday society, things to protect children, whether it just be fences or facilities, but in this so-called cyberverse, is there enough attention being drawn? Pavel here talking about, Dr. Pavel talking about the awareness factor, how important it is to simply raise awareness. Is there enough attention on the well-being of children in the cyberverse?
So it's a very big problem. Of course, we know that this is not a new problem with the internet and how it all affects children and how do we protect them, yes?
Yeah.
I think it's very important what we discussed about them. I'm going back to the topic we kind of touched on before, on what do you do as a parent and also how you can protect children, yes? So it's very, very important to open those channels of communication from when they're very little. And that means often like parents come to me and talk about, playing, and, I don't really have time for that, it's just a game. But what I think a lot of people just don't understand, just again, because the education isn't there, is that you sitting down with them on the carpet and playing around, today it might be Lego or Pokemon, tomorrow it's going to be dangers and bullying and sexual discussions and finances. They will let you into their world when they're little, they will keep you there as they grow.
I see this transition taking place with my own children here, transitioning into this age of more and more online activity. How horrifying is this, Tal, of a phenomenon worldwide? This isn't just a local issue there. And on top of that, straight question, how do we protect our children as they're more and more on YouTube, more and more on TikTok, as just examples?
Yeah, indeed. And we would not mention now the dark web and what exists over there. But I think that beside the fact of speaking with our kids and explaining them and raise the awareness and give them the ability to share let's say, almost everything that happened to them on the net, I think we need to provide them the environment of knowledge and awareness of basic golden rules, what to do and what not to do. Even if you think so, well, eventually, as we saw in this case, not everything looks like it should be. And so it's the first thing is, to report. not to be ashamed to report. But the second thing, and perhaps should be the first one, to use those golden rules in order to try to avoid such cases before it happens.
For the way they behave online. I mean, I'm taking notes here. That's good ideas. And Kamila, I want to come back to you on this concept here of simply how to prevent kids, as it's being mentioned here in the awareness, the discussion, setting some ground rules, but essentially how to prevent your kids from falling into a situation there as well, where they're too ashamed to come to a parent or to an older person. Is there a way to get into that space with young children already?
Yes, sure. I think it's very important to first from you as a parent, as a person, as an individual, yes, check yourself in terms of, and literally like sit down and check what are you thinking about different topics and what is your mindset about different topics. Because if the more aware of where you fall, meaning where you're judgmental, where will you respond in a very strong judgmental way to your child, yes, those are the pitfalls of like when is going to be basically the last time that your child will come to you with something difficult, something embarrassing, something inappropriate, okay? The more open you are, the more you understand, translate the understanding to a child that no matter what happened, I will be there to protect you, to be with you, we'll figure it out together, the more they'll be open to when they actually need you, when they're embarrassed and they're scared and they're thinking like, judge me or maybe throw me out of the house.
Yeah. Dr. Kamila, Forkosh, Lavan, thanks for being with us on a sensitive, important topic, and Dr. Tal Pavel as well. Appreciate you being with us and joining us in the studio here. Horrifying subject, important to cover though. We'll be back after another short break here. Much more coming your way on Zoom In. Stay with us.